Hi guys, I'm Walter and welcome to Wix Ideas. In this video, I'm going to show you how to add the Wix app to your Wix website. Now this works for dynamic pages and also static pages. And you don't need to write any single line of code. And my friend David actually pointed this out to me that you can use this app to collect reviews or even comment from your site visitors without writing any single line of code. And in this tutorial, I'm going to show you exactly how to add this to your website. Now let's get started. Now first things first, here is the page where I'm going to be adding my comment. So as you can see, this is a list of activities or kids activities from my previous tutorial on how to add multiple search and filter functions to your website. And this is able to filter all the activities based on the user selection. And most importantly, when I click on an activity, I want to be redirected to a dynamic page. And I want to have a comment section just right around this part of the page, and any site visitor can totally leave a comment on this dynamic page. And I'm going to show you how to add that without writing any single line of code. Now first of all, you're going to navigate to the page where you want to add it. Now remember that this works for dynamic and static pages, but for me, I'm going to add it to my dynamic page. So head over to site pages and menus and head over to dynamic pages. And here is the dynamic item page where I'm going to be adding my comment section to. And I'm going to scroll down to somewhere probably around here, and I'm going to add a blank section. So here is where I'm going to be adding my comments. Head over to add apps. Go ahead and search for Wix Comments. Hit on enter. Now the one you're looking for is this one right here. So click on that. Now most importantly, you want to check out that this is by Wix. You can go ahead and just take a look at the benefits or features of this app, and you can see that the reviews are pretty much good. A few people have some things to say about it, but let's take a look at what we can do with this one. So go ahead and add it to site. As you can see, that is currently adding, and it has been added to my section. Now this is a very beautiful comment section without any single line of code, and I think I can actually begin to make use of this without even customizing it. However, let me show you a few things that you can do with this app. First of all, we're going to head over to the settings, and here is where we determine how we want it to look like, what we want to add, and so on. So first is the display. We have the header and the sorting. When you click on that, you can see what we choose to see. Over here we have the header, which is this section right here. You can decide to hide the title, or you can decide to leave it on. You can also decide to remove the comment count, which is this number here. I think I would rather leave that on. And you can also decide to remove the divider. So I think I'm going to remove the divider. And here we have the show login button. So this is a button that shows up right here on the right side of your comment, and it usually allows the site visitor to log in before they leave a comment. It's not necessarily forcing them to log in before they comment, it's just having a button right there. All right, so we have this sorting here, which is this sort by, and as you can see, when you toggle that off, it hides. I think it's a very good feature to add. As you can see, this thing comes really equipped, and the default sorting is newest. You can decide to make it the oldest. Best practices is usually newest, but based on what you're trying to do, you can leave it on oldest to newest. All right, so let's head back, and over here on the comments and replies, you can see we have full control of what we can show, and here we choose what to display for the comments. We can choose to display the avatar, which is the image right there, and we can also decide to show the dates when it was published, or the members badge, which is right over here. And here you can see that you can create, assign, and manage badges in the dashboard. And when you click on manage badges, it opens up a dashboard page where you can assign them to site members. And next we have the site admin badge. If you're an admin and you commented on a post, you can also let them know that you are the admin and you replied to a comment, or you commented on a post. And also who was replied to. When someone replied to, you can see over here replying to commenter name. And we have the comment box. Where do we display the comment box? It's at the top and bottom, or you can leave it just at the top or just the bottom only. And over here you can see that we have the comment box right here, and we also have it at the bottom. So that's entirely up to you. I think I'm going to leave mine at the top only. I think that makes it look much easier, and you just have to come over here to leave a comment. All right, so let's head back and head over to the text and formatting plugins. All right, so these are the things that you can allow the site users to do when they are uploading an item in the comment over here. These are the plugins. So we have upload an image, emojis right over here. They can add a Giphy right here to add GIFs, and they can upload videos or file uploads or divider, which is right here. Now other advanced blocks that you can add, like the code block, collapsible list, tables. So you can basically just give them the freedom to, you know, add more details. I think this is for when you have a large community or something and you want to give them more flexibility. For example, I have a website, Wix Ideas, where I have tutorials that require code. So in case my site visitors want to leave a code in the comment section, then they can totally use the code block. For this tutorial is a children's book, so I don't think having a code block is necessary, but you can totally check out what you can do with that. And we also have the text formatting, you know, allowing them to bold text or add links to text and so on. All right, so let's head over to the pagination, which is the last part of the display. So when there are comments, we can have up to 10 comments on this page, and then we need to click on the next page to view other 10 more and so on. And then the comments after show more, when they click on show more, you can decide to show 10 more of them, or you can decide to show more than 10. You can decide to show maybe 20 and so on. I'm going to leave mine at 10. And then replies shown. So when a comment has a reply, as you can see right here, this comment has about 2 replies, and you can see we have show more replies if this comment has more than 2. So if you want to show replies like, you know, they are expanded, then definitely you can show that. And when you click on show more replies, which is right over here, it collapses 5 more of them. So you can just totally feel free to check out how this works. I'm going to leave mine at the defaults, and next is the layout. So let's head over to layout. I'm not going to be doing much on the layout. I think I'm pretty satisfied with what I have right here, but let's just quickly run through what the spacings are. We have the spacing between comments, which is the first comment and the next comment. So if you increase that, you can see that we have more spacings. So I'm going to leave mine at around 20 pixels. And also we have the side padding left and right, so you can also decide to maybe reduce that. I'm going to reduce mine to about 10. And the reply indent, which is the distance between this margin over here to this section, so you can also decide to make it either a little bit outward or inward. So I think having it at inward is better because it shows that it's a replied comment. All right, and then we have the design. Now the design is entirely up to you based on your website and what you're doing. So you have to use your brand that will keep it well aligned. For me, I'm going to go ahead and just use my font, which is Poppins. I'm going to use that for the header title, which is right over here. Now we can also change the color of the header title. So I'm kind of using a very playful color right here, so I'm probably going to go with something like that, blue. And here we have the buttons. So when you have a button right here, right over here, you can totally change the font that you're using. So I'm going to change that as well to Poppins. Now that has changed. You can also use your custom font, and you can also use the custom button color. All right, so I think this color makes sense. I'm just going to go ahead and add a little bit of corner radius to that. That is looking perfect. Now we also have the sorting design, which is right over here. Again, I'm going to use my font, which is Poppins. All right, so that is looking great. And here we have the divider, which is right over here, the comments. All right, so let's head back, and here we have the comment input field, which is this one right here. Now this design is entirely up to you. I may not be going too deep into the design, but I think I'm just going to leave it, you know, basically on the font. So I'm just going to go ahead and again choose my font right there, and this is the placeholder text. I think I want to make that a little bit lighter, and when it's focused, that means when the user has clicked on it to want to comment, as you can see right here, it shows up more details and even the buttons. So this is the text in color, which is the color of the text when you are typing. and here's a plugin color. So these are these colors right here. Now you also want to make that maybe stand out a little bit. I think I'm going to go with probably these colors, or maybe a blue. And this is the fill opacity for the box itself. I think that is looking great, and the border color is also looking great for me. And here we have the button style, which is right over here. So you also want to use something similar to what we did over here, and I think that was this color. All right, that is looking great. I'm going to add a 10 pixel corner radius, and that is perfect. Great. Now let's head back to our design. Let's take a look at the comment list, which is the comments right here. Right, if you enjoyed this tutorial so far, please don't forget to give this video a like and also subscribe if you haven't done so yet. All right, let's head back to our tutorial. Here we have the comment list. We have the comment, text, font, and color. Now I'm going to use a different font here. I'm going to use Quicksand. Now that's the text for the comment, and I think that's looking great. The dates and details, text and all, I can head over there and use Quicksand as well. Now I think that is also looking perfect. Now my font is a playful font because it's a children's book, so you can totally use your font that you have on your site. And here I have the username set to Poppins as well. The actions, which are the like, reply, and all of that. We can also use our font, which is Poppins, and we have the divider, opacity, and all. I think I want to reduce that a little bit more to around, so it looks lighter. And the badge, we have a badge here which is featured. When you vote a comment as the best answer, it kind of adds the feature to it, and I'm going to show you that later on in this tutorial, so I want to watch to the end to view all that benefits. All right, so the badge color, I think I want to make it stand out, so probably make it a red color. And we have the highlight opacity, which is the background of the comment that was featured. As you can see, this is the featured comment, so we're going to head over to this highlight opacity, and I'm going to change it a little bit so that it looks different, kind of similar to what the style of my website is, and that is looking perfect. Now let's head over to the background of the comment section. The color is white, as you can see over there, and we have no border. It's all set to nothing. I'm going to leave it that way. I think it's neater. And next we're going to head over to the text. So this is the text that you see over here. We have comments. So I'm going to change mine to say activity comments. Now that actually says more about what this is, so they understand that this is for this activity. And we have over here the comment box, which says write a comment, which is right over here. Now you can change what the text says, and the button, when you are on focus or about to publish or write a comment, the button says publish. Now instead of publish, I'm probably going to say comment. All right, and here we also have the reply box. So when they click on reply, a box is going to come out, and that box also has write a comment, and the publish button should also say comment. And here we have the comment list. We have here the like, we have the reply, and we have the site admin badge text, and that is what you see right here. Now you can change it to use a different name for yours if you don't want to be called the admin and so on. All right, so let's head over to the settings. So here is where we determine how this whole comment section works. This is a fully responsive and is also a fully functional comment section, and you don't have to write any single line of code to use this. So here on the settings, we're going to head over to the reactions, and the reaction is right over here, which is the like. And you can see here we have some kind of stacked images with a number of likes, you know, for this particular comment. Now we have a choose a reaction type. Now you can choose reaction emojis or upvotes and downvotes, or no reaction at all. For me, this is a children's activity, so it's probably going to be good to have it as a reaction emojis. But if you have something different, more like a community where you want them to vote for, you know, a response or something, then having an upvote and downvote like this will totally make sense. Or you can decide not to have any reactions at all. For me, I'm going to have a reaction for my comments, and that's going to be the reaction emojis. And here you can choose the main reaction. So it can be a like, which is something we have here, like a thumbs up, and it could also be a heart, which could also change, and as you can see, that has changed to a heart. Now you can enable additional reactions for comments and replies, just like Facebook has, where you can have up to different reaction types and so on. You can see these are different reactions. Now you can choose which one you want to use. Since we already have, we're using the heart, we can use a thumbs up, we can use this laughing emoji, you can use a surprise or shocked, the clapping, and the thinking emoji. So you can add up to 5 of those, so you choose the one that you want to use and leave the rest. All right, so let's head to the featured comments. You want to choose what label shows. For comment that are giving the best answers, you want to choose what text or label is used for that. So you can see over here that we have it's called a featured post. It's either called the best answer, solved, pinned, or you can add your own custom label. For me, I'm going to use pinned as the featured comment label, but you can totally add your own custom word to it. So let's just go back and use pinned. All right, so let's head back and go to the ratings. Now, like I said, this is a fully functional Wix Comments app, and this app does basically everything you can think about of a comment section on your website. And here we have the ratings, which means you can actually convert it to a rating comment, and that means that they need to also add a rating of the impression about the particular page or what the discussion is all about. For me, I don't need this feature, but if you think that you need it, you can go ahead and enable the star rating. And over here you can say that the star rating is required to leave a comment. So that means you need to actually select a rating before they can submit a comment. All right, so let's head over to the design. Here we have the ratings design. You can change the color of that. I'm totally going to delete this because I don't actually need it, but I'm just going to show you guys how this works. I can change the filled star opacity color, which is this one here, and we have the empty star, which is the empty star over here. You can also see here we have the score font, which is this one right here. So you can go ahead and just change that to Poppins. That's what I've been using. We're going to be consistent with that. And you can also go ahead and change add rating text here. All right, so that's that about the ratings. I'm going to go ahead and toggle that off because I don't need ratings for this. All right, finally we have the advanced under the settings. So here we have the widget name. The widget name is called comments. Basically, this is how you recognize what the widget name is on your website, and I think you can also use that on the dashboard as well to know what comments on the page is. So let's go ahead and go over to the permissions. So under the permissions, this is where you actually control who leaves a comment and who doesn't. So let's go over to comments and replies. All right, so the comment and replies, we have the comments who can post comments, guests and registered members. So people who are not logged in and people who are logged in can leave a comment. I think that is a bit flexible. So what about the replies? Who can post replies on the website? So guests and registered members can post replies, or registered members only, or owner of the website, which is the admin or you, can leave a comment or can post a reply. So I'm going to leave it again at guests and registered members. Right, so here we have the guest commenting settings. So guests need to enter a username to post. That means they do actually need to have a name before they post. I'm going to say yes. We're going to check that out later on. You can see that we are required to add a username for them to post, and the guests need to enter an email address to post. This is not necessary, but you can always turn it on if you want to collect their emails, just to send them a newsletter or an email later on asking them to join your membership. And finally, under the permissions, we have reactions. So who can leave reactions? We're going to leave it again at guests and registered members can leave reactions, can give a thumbs up or a laugh or surprised emoji and so on. And that is that with the settings. You can also check out the support, reach out to Wix technical assistants or the contact the customer care if you need further help with your comment section. All right, so let's go ahead and close out the settings and let's head over to the manage comments. Now this is where you are going to find all the comments that were left on your website. So here we have a table where all the comments are going to be on, and we have different tabs for published comments, for pending comments, for reported comments, for trashed comments. And we can also filter the comments based on the location where they are on the website. And right now we haven't published the site yet, so we can't see this yet. and here we have the filter by commenter, so the person who left the comment. All right, another cool thing about this comment is you can actually add moderation rules, and here we're going to check out what they are, what it is, and how to add it. So you can create moderation rules which will send comments for manual approval. Most people are going to leave spam comment by all means, and this is where you control how you handle those kind of comments. Now the very first moderation rule we're going to add is for spam, so I'm going to add spam moderation. All right, so that's going to be the rule name, and whose comments are moderated. We're going to say everyone's comments are moderated. You can leave it at just guest, people who are not logged in, who are not members, or you can leave it at just new members, or you can leave it at everyone. So I'm going to moderate everyone. So even though they are site members, they still need to be moderated just to make sure they don't spam the comment section. So what type of comments are moderated? So I'm going to go ahead and say with spam AI. There are different other options which are with links and media, with attached files, with custom words, with regex or regular expressions, or all comments. So I'm just going to use with spam, which is AI moderated. So the AI will go through the comments and check if it's spammed or not. So what happens if this is a spammed comment? We're going to send this to pending. That means that we're going to find the comments in the pending tab, and we have to manually read the comment and approve it to be published or not. And you can also choose to exclude certain group of people from this particular spam moderation, which over here is a list of selected site members. I'm not going to do that because I basically want to moderate every single person. So let's go ahead and save. But just in case you want to exclude yourself or certain group of your site members, you can totally go over here and select from your list. Now I'm the only member on this site, but of course for your website you're going to have hundreds or thousands of site members, and you can select them manually or search for them by their names. So let's go ahead and save this moderation. All right, so here is our moderation, and we have all the settings. So the spam moderation is for everyone and is triggered by spam, which is AI moderated, and the action is to send it to the pending tab, and there are no exceptions. And over here we have the status to make it active or not, so you can always toggle this up at any time. And here you can also decide to edit it, duplicate or delete this moderation. And the next thing I want to do here is to add a new moderation, and this is going to be the media moderation. Now what I want to do is to make sure that guests do not upload any media until they log in. All right, so that's the setting. So let's go over here and say this: whose comments are moderated, only guests, and what type of comments are moderated. So with links and media, let's select that. And what happens, we're going to also send them to pending and then click on save. Now again, you can always go ahead and toggle this off if you want to remove the moderation. Now head back to the comments. The moderated comments will appear here in the pending, and there is one final moderation rule I want to add, and that is by filtered words. So let's go over to filtered words. All right, so you can name these rules any name. I'm just using this just for an example, and here I want to moderate everyone, and what I want to do is I want to say with custom words. So there are certain words that I don't want them to add onto the site, and I'm sure you understand what I mean by this. Certain words or arrogant or rude words cannot be used, so I'm going to use certain words like crazy. But before that, I want to explain how this rule works. Use commas to separate your words like cat, comma, dog, and so on. And you can also use the asterisk at the start and or both sides of the words for partial matching. You can decide to match exactly the word. It doesn't have to be part of another word. For example, you have port, but if you want to match the word when it is inside another word, for example in port we have port at the end, then you're going to add an asterisk to the front and then the port or the name that you want to match. But if you want to match the word at the beginning of a word, for example, port is in Portugal, but it's at the beginning of the word Portugal, then you're going to add the asterisk at the end. But if you want to match the word anywhere it is, whether it's in the beginning, it's in the middle, it's at the end, or wherever it is, then you can use the asterisk at the beginning and the end, which is like a wild card. All right, so I'm just going to use that example, and I'm going to use the word crazy. But you can also add more words that you don't want to have on your comment. So go ahead and separate my comma and use the asterisk in the beginning and the end for a wild card so that it matches the word anywhere it is in the comments. All right, so I'm also going to use the word cat just for an example, because I don't want to use certain words because I don't want this video to be censored. All right, so let's head over to what happens with these comments. So let's go ahead and reject from publishing. And again, you can also use the exclude rule. I'm not going to exclude anyone, so let's go ahead and save this. All right, so here are all our rules, and we are done with the settings for our comment, and it's time to actually take a look at how this works and looks on our website. So let's go ahead and save this, publish, and view on our live site. All right, so here we are on our dynamic page, and here if you scroll down, you're going to find where we have the comment section. And when you click on that, you see that we are required to enter in our username, or the email is not really required and it's not shared publicly, or here you can leave a comment. Now this particular one is for Grandpa's beard is alive. So I'm going to go ahead and use my name, Walter, here, and ask the question, is Grandpa's beard really alive? And I'm going to add this thinking emoji here and go ahead and comment. Now you can see that this is verifying if I'm a human, so I need to actually select I'm not a robot before it publishes. So comments pending approval. Your comment needs to be approved by an admin or moderator before going live. You will receive a notification once your comment is reviewed. Now you're wondering why this went straight to pending, and that's because the AI kind of thought that this is a spam, and that is where the moderation actually comes in. So if we go ahead and head back to our website and go over to manage comments, now over here in the pending, you can see that we have our comment right there, and you can see the URL of our page where the comment was made. And most importantly, you can view this particular page or the comments on that page. Now I'm going to go ahead and approve this comment, and that would move it to the published tab. All right, and if you go over here and click on view, you can see that this is how the comment looks like. Most importantly, you as the admin can actually reply to this comment. So I'm going to say yes, his beards are alive. And you can also add a cool emoji to this and reply. Now the reply has been posted. Now let's view this live. You can also come back here and you can see that the reply has been posted immediately, and you can refresh this to actually view it without it pending. But if we head over to the other page where we said view comments, you can see that it kind of has a URL over here that it's supposed to scroll you down. It actually did scroll me down and highlighted the particular comments, and you can see that comment has been highlighted and with my name and everything all there. And you can see that I have a comment replying to Walter, which is right over here, and this is the admin, which is me. All right, so I can also go ahead and hover on this, and this will definitely have, you know, a reaction to it. So you can add or change your reaction just like you would on Facebook. Basically very interactive. All right, so now this was added to the Grandpa's beard is alive. And if we go to the next dynamic item, which is how to train your grandma, you can see that we don't have any comments at all. Now let's go ahead and actually do something here by logging into our website and then leaving a comment as a site member. All right, so I just logged in and here I am. When you click on this icon, you can log out, but then you don't need to enter your name all the time to leave a comment. And you can see commenting as Walter ODB or the name of your account, so your site members can log in totally. So it depends on what you want to do. And here I'm going to say how to train your grandma, and over here I'm just going to say by baking her cookies. All right, now another thing we haven't checked out here is when you highlight a text, you can totally format the text, making it bold, underlined, or italic, or even adding a link to it. All right, so this is exactly one of the best parts of this comment section. Allows you to have like a rich content for you to add as many things as you can. And over here you can add an image, or you can even add a GIF. So here I'm going to go ahead and add something like, the thing is a Pope. That's probably something that is trendy right now. And you can also go ahead and add a caption right here, or you can add an underline and just write a very long comment section, and let's go ahead and comment that immediately. So here our comment again has been sent to the admin for approval, and again that's because of the spam moderation. I'm going to go ahead and remove that immediately. So go ahead and remove this, or you can also say this is for guests only, not logged in members. But let's just toggle that off for a meantime, and let's head back to our comments. Right, so here under the pending we should have a comment, and if we click on this comment over here, you can see this is a comment that I made on the website, and I can go ahead and approve this. All right, or you can also reject it. You can decide to reject this particular comment. So let's go ahead and approve that comment. That comment has been moved to our published comment. Now again, you can also reply to this comment. So let's just go ahead and view this. Now this is my comment, and if I refresh this page, you can see that my comment has been approved and it's currently looking great. Now, one of the things that you can also do to a comment is that you can mark it as the best answer. So here, or you can feature it. That's what it basically means. So because I changed my featured comments to pinned and not featured comments or answer, then it's going to add it here as marked as pinned. So I'm going to go ahead and pin that particular comment, and you can see that the comment has been marked as pinned. And if we refresh this page, you can see here that it's been highlighted, and also the featured label has been changed to pinned. I'm going to log into another account just to leave a comment on this page. So I'm going to log out of this account, scroll down, and then log in. All right, so over here you can see that I am logged in here as a different account, and one of the things I can do here is to simply like this particular comment and also reply to it and just say great. Then you can see commenting as Walter DB, but on a different profile, and then comment. Now that has been commented and replied to immediately without any pending requests. So that is how you add a Wix comment to your website. I hope this tutorial was a great and massive help for you. If it was, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and also leave a comment. And also don't forget to come in here and test this website. A link to this tutorial is in the description below, and also please, if you haven't subscribed, don't forget to do so. It's going to be a massive help to the Wix Ideas channel. Thank you so much, and I will